If there are any questions, we can hop on that.
A question related to 100x.vc. You just launched it few months back with the intention to have 100 startups and entrepreneurs to grow and scale. So I would like to know, you specifically mentioned that you invest against Safe Note.
Yeah.
So I just want to know what are its benefit, and our attendees would also like to know what is exactly the Safe and how it is beneficial for investors as well as entrepreneurs both.
Sure. So, as an investor, I used to invest through shareholder agreement. Typically, a shareholder agreement is where an equity is issued at a fixed valuation, and it's a 40-50 page minimum document where all the shareholders sign that, and then the money is transferred to a new bank account, and once you do the compliance, you will be able to use the money as a founder. That's
Yeah.
how the process works across, and it takes around anywhere around 2 months to 3 months to close a transaction. What ISEF does, it's a form of a convertible note where I, as an investor, gives you money in lieu of a future equity issuance whenever the next round price round happens. So one is between both of us, we agree saying that this is a great company and I would like to invest, but I don't want to put a valuation to it.
Okay.
I don't want to put a valuation, so I want to defer a valuation discussion because अभी data भी नहीं है क्या valuation करेंगे. So you push that valuation for a future round whenever price round happens across. So I will give you money now. You build the company, but at a future round, whenever you do that, you have to issue me the equity. But because I have given you money upfront, there might be a discount or a valuation cap which we can agree upon, so that I get a benefit of giving you the money early. And advantage here is as a startup founder, the money which you raise across, you can raise from multiple investors issuing safe notes at a. So let's say, for example, today there are 10 investors who are interested. You can issue safe note to all 10 individually, take the money in one by one, and start consuming that money. Whereas in shareholder agreement, you will have all the shareholders sign that one document,
Yeah.
and you need money to come in, all together and consume then
It's a
all.
long process.
So it takes huge amount. Plus, there is legal cost.
Yeah.
This is a template which you can download it on 100x website and use it across free of cost. It's open source. In fact, 100 plus startups outside of 100x portfolio have benefited, with iSafe.
So it's legal in India.
Yes, it is very much legal in India. And let me just see. This is my class one on the presentation. If you can see what we look, and this is one of the how iSafe. This is TurboWire, not my portfolio company, but they've been benefited with iSafe. They used across. We do founders dating events also. Now this is let's put this later. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, second question is the same related to valuation. Most of the people have no idea how this valuation come forward when there is a discussion between a VC and an entrepreneur. There is no formula. There is no any science behind it. Sometimes it is based on market size. Sometimes it is based on traction. So people have doubt what kind of traction a startup should have before raising a seed round, and what kind of valuation they should put on themselves. So
No, so idea here is, see, in a rule of thumb, the way you have to work across in India, if you are raising an angel round, then typical valuations range anywhere between 7 crore to 15 crore,
okay.
depending upon what stage where you are and what kind of fundraise you are doing. Let's say you are raising across 1 crore. Typically, you should be easily diluting anywhere between 15 to 25%. If
Hmm.
you are raising anywhere between 2 crore to 5 crore, you can be easily diluting anywhere between 20% to 35%, right? So
Okay.
those are the ranges on which work across. But never in an angel round the dilution is more than 35%, because then there is not enough equity left on the table for
Counterpart.
incoming investors.
Yeah.
And the way to work across is whatever money you raise across in the angel round, that money has to last to you for anywhere from 12 months to 18 months and create a milestone where you are able to raise the next round of funding.
Okay. Sanjay, can you stop sharing your screen so we can see you in big screen?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so the question that other people are asking here is like, after this COVID, what do you see? Which industry will be having a lot of startups, and in which domain one should start up?
So any businesses which is going to have low touch or no touch engagement with humans are going to see a lot of benefits and engagement, right? So we have identified a couple of sectors which we believe are great. One is subscription commerce, right? Anything which is direct to home to consumer is going to be very, very valuable. So I've written a blog on how subscription economy will grow across very, very well. So subscription economy for home, as I mentioned, across home economy will grow. Safety, wellness, services, health tech is going to be the another one. Agri tech is huge. Any SaaS company will see a lot of adoption. India market is growing on SaaS and productivity tools. Online enabling technologies will be very, very helpful. Cloud infrastructure companies will be interesting. Education tech will be very interesting. So these are a couple of sectors which we believe has got huge story and legs in next 1 to 2 years.
Okay, and someone is asking about what kind of traction you see before investing in early stage startup. How does it
So
matters?
we invest one at an product stage, right? Where just there is a product. There are no users, there are no customers, just a product, right? So just an MVP, a product. Second, we invest at product plus user state, where there are some product, there are some users who are doing trial, pilot, POC, chal raha hai, freemium users are there. And there are startups where we have invested, which is product, user, and some revenues. So
Okay.
in the order, I would prefer as an investor to mitigate my risk. Anything which has product, user, and revenues, where somebody is paid, that would be much more attractive. Then comes across product and user, and then comes across the product. So the attractiveness for an investor to invest will definitely be in the product, user, and revenues.
We know some of your successful investments like Oyo, Boxit, Loginex. What do you think? What made them so successful at first place? I
Their
that's a
ability
particular
to see all these startups had great founders, right? So, for example, Loginex, both the founders, Carnegie Mellon graduates, studied analytics, worked in the analytics space, came back to India and started an analytics business. When we invested, or I was a lead investor in Loginex, they already had revenues in that place. So it was very great, company to already invest into. So it was like no brainer. When we invested in Boxate, we looked at where Mexican cuisine. We believe that the Indian palate was great, and they started with a company name called Pancho,
okay.
and but the unit level profitability was there, but it was not scaling up. Then, when we were raised the first round of funding, they created an Indian cuisine named Dishum, which again failed across, and finally Bauxite. So they pivoted multiple times. And in the COVID times, at Series C funding level, right, where they've got 1,000 plus people and grown so well, they actually pivoted so fast to do the essential grocery deliveries, right, instead of doing the QSR business, because that is what was needed across. So how do you pivot? Now, those are the great founders you want to invest into.
Okay. One more thing, most of the time we see people fall in love with the idea, and they foresee the after effects, or even there is a market or not. Even if someone starts guiding them, or try to help them to pivot it, they usually are found very reluctant. What kind of advice you want to give to people when it comes to execution and scale of their product and the idea?
The idea is there is a saying by Gautam Buddha, right? Guru will appear the time when disciple is ready.
Mhm.
So don't try to push hard in terms of changing somebody. If the guys are not ready to mentor, don't try to mentor them, right? So there are places where the conversation, they are not, they don't listen. They are listening to answer back or prove saying that, what they are doing is right. And maybe they are doing whatever they are right and happy for them. But the idea is when somebody is giving the feedback, at least take a note. of that and try to work around on those ideas and give a thought to it rather than saying that anything what other will say is wrong and I'm right.
Okay. And I would like to know the process of 100x.vc. How 100x.vc invest?
So for us,
YC or something else?
sorry.
It's like YC, the Y Combinator, or do you follow other approach?
No, so what we do is when we get an email pitch, we ask them to fill up an online form, which will give us more details and data. We ask for a video pitch so that at least their time is saved across. And once we see the video pitch, we get into Google Hangouts in multiple rounds of calls. And once we believe that yes, this is a great company, then we try to meet them. And once our meeting is done across, we try to do a ref checks of the founders, basic understanding, and then we issue a term sheet. And the money wiring happens across in 24 hours. So because this is an iSafe, it's a very over-the-counter, closure. So many of our companies like Data Sutram, Snug, Class One, they once we signed the term sheet, the money was banked in less than 48 hours.
Okay. One more thing, I just missed what
Aditi,
I'm.
we have some hand raises. Let's take
Yeah,
one
you
or
can
two
go
of
ahead.
them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So handing it over to Aman. Right.
from Indore.
Aman, you
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, sir. Hi, Aman this side from founder of Mom's Card. I would like to know about what are your views on the upcoming e-commerce startups post-COVID.
No, so e-commerce is always going to be in vogue, but depends upon if you are trying to build something like saying that I'm going to build a next Flipkart,
Okay.
nobody's going to invest into it. If you are
Not
going to try and push products on e-commerce or e-commerce is one of the channel where you are trying to build business, then it would be attractive.
okay. Actually, we are just coming up with the product, like new products on e-commerce channels, like
Yeah,
that
sure.
are not
So
available.
again, it worries me when anybody says multiple new products. If I would have heard across a product going on e-commerce, it would excite me. Anything which is multiple products, multiple SKUs is scary.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
okay. Thank you, Aman. Thank you. One more we have.
Hello.
Yes, Aditya.
Hi, sir. It was very nice listening to you. My question is, what do you think is the scope of ed tech or education tech in the coming scenarios?
It's huge. In fact, a lot of opportunities. And if you see the current announcements also, which are happening across in the funding world, quite a lot of them, education tech is getting funded. So anything which you would have across remote connectivity, remote engagement, everything is valuable today.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any more?
We have one more. We have one more.
Okay.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, great insights, Sanjay. One question I have is we are into an experience-based marketplace. We've been running it for 1 year, but Corona has altogether changed the scenario. So, how do you foresee an experience-based, market-based business developing from here on, and what are your views on that front?
Use VR. It's a huge advantage which you can use VR to build a
Okay.
story around. In fact,
Can you mute your mic?
uh,
Chandra, please mute.
in fact, so our family, so 100x is a fully sponsored fund. We don't have external money, so this is sponsored by our family. My brother is based out of US, so he does investment from a Delaware fund. In fact, we are looking at one of the very similar in terms of the VR companies on the experiential side, but that's more in the US side. So you can, I mean, the options is always there for founders to find a way out. Today, more than ever, content is getting consumed. Everybody is consuming content like crazy. So how do you get into that VR space and try to see across that experience same coming back.
Sanjay sir, there is one small question. Is there any particular ticket size of 100x.vc?
So we invest anywhere between 25 lakhs to 1 crore.
Okay.
Everything
We
is
have-
mentioned. We are the most transparent VC possible. In fact, we have stats about everything which has been mentioned on our website. So if you go to 100x website, all details are very clearly mentioned.
We have Jay with his question.
Yes, Jay.
Hello. Hey, Sanjay, am I audible?
Yes.
Hey, Sanjay, just wanted to get your take with respect to the previous question in terms of the product and the product. So, is it okay in terms of we having a product roadmap wherein we have for the go-to-market one particular product feature, and followed by that we keep on adding feature on feature? What would be your take with respect to that? So, I run a edtech startup called as BrightCamp. We are into the talent discovery side. So that's what it is. So we do have a product roadmap which we have spanned it out. So just would like to get your take with
No,
respect
so
to
product roadmaps everybody should have, and adding across more features to the product is not a problem. But idea is many times you find across saying that okay, I have made this contactless, let's say appointment software, and now I have also a CRM software, and I'm also doing a ticketing software.
Got
Now,
you.
products it doesn't work.
Right.
At the seed stage, I don't know where my money is going to be used. Is it going to be on that contactless software? Is it going to be on that CRM or ticketing? Right? Which is the market that we are focused on? I don't know very much. All three markets are different.
Point taken. Point
Know
taken.
exactly where the money as an investor this is going to be deployed. If you say that I can do everything, I'm building a platform. So you need to showcase a point solution. किसका problem solve कर रहे हो and how you are doing with that one product.
Haji. Point taken. By the way, can we look at sending our pitch deck at pitch@100x.vc?
Most welcome. Thank you so much for sending the pitch.
Sure thing. Thank
We
you.
are grateful to all the founders who take our money because end of the day, we as a VC make money
Right.
of few entrepreneurs, right? So we are grateful to entrepreneurs who take our money.
Fine.
Thank you, Jay.
One of the attendees is asking about what would be the scenario after COVID for wellness industry, beauty and wellness industry.
So wellness is always going to be there. So it depends upon if it is a physical spa, difficult to engage across. But wellness is now, so a lot of the deals which we are looking across is in terms of mental wellness, right? The online, how do you get mental wellness? How do you get psychological support in the mental side? So those are the startups which people are evaluating.
They are asking in terms of beauty and wellness.
Yeah, so idea is depends upon if you are going to run a chain of beauty salons or anything of that sort, it's going to be tough. While it is a necessity, it is going to be required. But getting VC attention on those businesses will take at least 12 to 14 months.
Do you think they
Okay.
also need to reinvent themselves like others have done during this COVID?
So that's their call. If they are pitching a physical chain, it's difficult.
Okay.
Okay, we have one more question, and that's from Mark, and he's joining us in from Thailand. What's happening?
What happened?
I don't know. I think he is not able to connect. I'll add the next person. Mark, please request again.
Yeah, he's here.
Right. Something's going wrong here.
It's okay. Move to the next question.
Anyways, moving to the next question. It's from Bhushan.
Bhushan is here.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, Bhushan.
Amazing session, Mr. Sanjay. Thanks a lot for doing this. So, quick question. You just mentioned that investors would be interested in investing on startups which are focusing on SaaS solutions right? So we actually have started working on this SaaS product for the B2B productivity product, basically it is. And we are just away, I guess, around 10 days away from launching a beta, and we already have a few soft commitments from small businesses. So would you as an investor be interested in taking a look at such a product?
Yeah, we already I mentioned, right? SaaS is going to be anything which is going to help small businesses go online. So today, for example, as an if it is an on-premise Tally software, it's tough. But if it was a online accounting software on cloud, it would be easy for somebody to use. So anything
Absolutely.
going to be an SaaS-driven productivity tools or any engagement, a lot of the VCs have started exploring that.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. So I'll be definitely applying to 100x.vc and would try to reach out to you.
Look forward, Bhushan.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bhushan.
Yeah.
So we have one other question actually, Sanjay. Somebody's asking that what is the major restriction in investing in a single founder startup? Because we do hear quite often that single founder startups, and even you said that it's something that people don't look at. But what is that major point that stops a VC from investing in a single founder startup?
It is not about saying that we don't invest. I have invested in single founder companies. But what happens in the startup businesses? So today, fundraising is a full time role. Between founders, you need to split across, saying that, okay, one founder is going to go out and raise money while other is building business. The scale of a business between a founder where I have a team and where I have a single founder, the business growth is much different. So in that sense, it is from a risk perspective also. Let's say if I'm investing into a company, I have a risk only on one key man, right? Whereas if it is two or three founders, then the risk is spread across. So it is always good both from a entrepreneur's perspective, because startup is a very lonely journey. And what you dream and what you vision across, if you have you do, at least at the seed stage, I don't see across many of the believers who can believe into startup founder vision, right? So if you got couple of guys who are there believes in the same vision as what you are building on, it gives you enough strength to do something bigger and larger.
Thank you about that. And we have one more question which has come up quite a few times, that how to approach a same investor again post COVID, where you have pivoted your idea and you feel the investor might be interested in the current business approach. How
So
to do that?
one time no from an investor is never considered that as a permanent no. As a startup founder, one of the trick is to constantly communicate in a soft, polite way on email, keeping update on the progress. Please understand, all VCs, any VC, any investor has a fear of missing out. They don't want to miss out on good deals. All the emails are read by every possible VC. So you send, they will read a mail. You might not see a reply, but everyone reads every possible mail. So idea here is to keep them posted on your growth, what you are doing across, and keep them posted on your success stories. And you will hear back from investors definitely. And I have personally have changed my opinions after constant engagement with couple of founders. And in fact, in class 2, we are reviewing the class 1 deals where we didn't invest, looking at that progress. So it's a constant. One time no is not a permanent no. It is at that point in time where founders have to understand that you were not ready for VC investment.
Okay, and this is a question that Mark had, that considering the global pandemic, is there a chance that an investor like you would invest in a startup from a different country? What factors are you going to consider in that case?
So we as an 100x don't invest in any other company than Indian one. So apologies for that. So 100x is a India domiciled fund, works only with Indian domiciled startups. So we will have to open a company in India for to receive a funding from 100x. But if you are looking to raise money outside in Thailand, possibly you can look at Mehta Ventures, which is www.mehta mehtaventures.co. That's our family office. There we invest globally into any companies in any part of the world.
Okay, thank you. We have one last question. Somebody's raised a hand, so let's try that one last thing. And just
Yeah,
on that
we-
note, just on that note, when you said that you only invest in Indian domicile startups, do you only invest in Indian startup founders, or you do invest somebody who has a company in India but is not Indian? Would you still invest in their idea?
Yes, any capital which we want to deploy has to remain in India, irrespective of the founder's ethnicity or origin.
Okay. Thank you on that. I think we're not able to get Krishna the access to a mic. So, Aditi, you're on mute. Do you want to take the last few minutes to wrap it up?
Yeah, I would like to thank Sanjay sir for taking out time for all of us. I guess it was a great session. I mean, all the 70 people constantly, what there and asking and listening to your insights. And it's a great session, I must say. Thanks for taking
Sure.
out, and hopefully you will see, some of the good pitches out of this session as well.
Thank
And
you, Aditi. Thank you, Akansha, for this time and opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you,
wish
sir.
you all
Thank
the
you.
best,
Sir,
Babu.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.